trains roll their awnings down. The milk trucks make their morning rounds.
She is Joni Mitchell. She's from Saskatchewan. She writes and sings the most extraordinarily beautiful songs.
And she's an extraordinarily beautiful girl. We'll have a half hour with Joni Mitchell on Take 30 next, in 60 seconds.
With Show of the Week and Front Page Challenge, Monday night is Double Date Night on CBC. Show of the Week presents top color variety specials. As each week, international stars appear in a wide range of exciting entertainment. You'll see Wayne and Schuster up to their usual zany capers, and popular singers like our own Juliet, Frank Sinatra, Harry Belafonte, and Perry Como host their own specials. For a show bill of comedy, musicals, and variety specials, watch Show of the Week. Immediately following is the popular panel show Front Page Challenge, when our wise and wily panelists examine and recall headlines with guest celebrities who were newsmakers of the day. Fred Davis is moderator and Betty Kennedy. Gordon Sinclair and Pierre Burton provide the action. That's Show of the Week and Front Page Challenge. Double dates, Monday nights on CBC television.
The Mitchell magic is the way one critic has been moved to describe Joni Mitchell's particularly warm and endearing charms as a singer and as a composer. Here is some of that magic done with the hands and the heart, the song of her own, The Circle Game.
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, masterpiece here, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow, the circle's down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So be new dreams, maybe better dreams and plenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round, and go round and round, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Well, that's the circle game. And for this next song, I have to go into a rather funny tuning. But this is a song about a daydreamer. And actually, while we're on the topic of Ferris wheels and merry-go-rounds and things like that, I should tell you that I was at an exhibition in Regina, Saskatchewan, and I was just wandering along the midway, and I happened to overhear a conversation between a young couple who were obviously on their first date. And it was probably the classic example of when not to be a daydreamer, because daydreaming can get you into a lot of difficulty sometimes. It's not used properly. The couple, like I say, were obviously on their first date, and the conversation was mostly hers, and it went something like this. Gee, I'm really glad that we got this chance to go out tonight to the fair and all. Fairs are so exciting. I really wanted to tell you for a long time that I think you're really neat. See, I have locker 365, and it's just a little ways down from yours. I think yours is 372 or something like that, roughly. And, well, see, my girlfriend, Judy, she's the one with the red hair who has the locker next to me. That's locker 366. You've probably seen her. Well, we always watch you when you walk down the halls at school, and we always say, wow, he's really neat, isn't he? And she always says, yeah, he's really neat. She's probably going to be really sore when I tell her when I get back to school that we went to the fair and all and had a beautiful time, even though it was Dutch treat. Well, I just wanted to tell you that I had a beautiful time, and I think you're really cool. Well, about that point, he looked up at her with a faraway, distant look in his eyes and said, very dramatically, huh? That's when not to be a daydreamer, so I decided to write a song for her, and I call it Song to a Daydreamer, or Blue on Blue. Blue on blue, skies in your eyes, staring away like I wasn't here. Where do you go when you fantasize that you wish I'd disappear? Leave the dreamer, leave you alone, lost in a world that's all your own. Can I come to blue on blue? Dreams like you are making now are very hard to share. All I ask is one small favor. Dream a dream and wish me there. Gold on gold, sun in your hair, spinning the rainbow, weaving the wind, brewing the dye for the midnight air, counting the gold at the rainbow's end. Maybe a princess whispers your name out of the time before I came. I'll never know. Gold on gold, dreams like you are making now are very hard
Joni Mitchell, a very young lady, Saskatchewan-born. And if you've never heard of her before, if you've met her for the first time here, you know you're going to meet her again quite a bit during your lifetime. You're just starting out, sort of, aren't you?
Actually, I've been singing professionally now for 2 years, but I consider that I've only started within the last year because I've only felt that I've begun to have my own way to go, my own songs and my own guitar style, and I'm starting to get my own vocal styling now.
How do you determine when you've sort of arrived and are what you want to be in this game, if you like?
Well, I think that you have to feel it inside, but you do need encouragement, and I've just been becoming more and more successful, and it's sort of a law of averages. It depends on you don't bomb anymore. That's what it is.
Did you ever bomb? I can't believe that.
Oh, I don't know. I think bombing is a thing that is felt in your head sometimes. I've done performances where I didn't particularly excite anyone. I think they said, well, that's nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think that now sometimes that I can excite people.
Your songs have an interesting quality about them. They're very, for want of a better word, I think one just has to say poetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have a kind of eternity about them. They're not just about love and loss and the things that we normally associate with this kind of singing.
Well, I'm very Canadian. You know that I live in the States now. Did you
No.
know that?
No, you don't.
Well, I'm married an American, and I'm living
We
in
know
Detroit. And I find that I've become more Canadian since I've moved to the States. I think maybe you do that. And the songs that I've been writing within the last year have had more and more of a prairie flavor, if not throughout the song. At least I set the song in Canada. For instance, I've written a song about a carnival in Kenora and things like that, and I'm always looking for Canadian ideas, you know, Canadian places instead of carnival in Detroit, which sounds like a drag anyway. You see all these cars going around in circles or something.
Well, Joni, who are you singing all these songs to? The sort of coffee house group, do they already know the message, or is there a message that you're trying to give them, or anybody?
The general message of my songs, I guess, is just happiness. Most of them have happy endings, and I don't write protesty things. If they protest at all, it's very subtle, and they're sort of, the message comes out like, don't do this, or try not to be that way, but it's still through happiness, so that it doesn't stand up there and sort of preach at people.
What do you mean by happiness, Joni?
Well, as a matter of fact, while I was here, or while I was in Toronto the last time, I got a bad review, and what the review amounted to, I think, was that I was too happy, and he criticized it for lack of depth. It was sort of like everything was happy, you know. He said I wasn't saccharine, but I was a little hearts and flowery. That's what he said. Mind you, I should say now, too, that I had 2 excellent reviews, plus this one that wasn't so good. And so he criticized me for being happy, and that's what I think my songs are. I can't explain it any more than that. They're just, even the sad songs aren't depressing. They're just sort of wistful.
Have you always been happy?
I try to be. No, nobody's happy all the time.
Have you always wanted to be a happy singer and writer of songs?
Well, I started out in folk music, of course, doing traditional ballads, which were these long English things about Lady So-and-so whose husband killed her while her lover was standing at the foot of the bed and things, and House of the Rising Sun, about a girl who's been led astray. And I think maybe that's why my songs are all happy, because in the beginning they were all so dreary. They were beautiful, but they were, you know, they were just very miserable songs.
If I look miserable because I'm holding onto this cardboard here, I don't know if anybody's seen it, because we're going to see something as well as hear something from you. And I'll just get that ready if you'll tell us about a happy song you want to do.
Oh, a happy song. Where's my guitar?
Something about a wizard, I think.
Yes. This
That's
is
pretty
called
happy.
not the Wizard of Oz or the Wizard of Id or my favorite wizard whose name is Gandalf from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. This fellow's called... Sorry.
It's called Sorry. The Wizard of Sorry. Oh.
It's called The Wizard of Iz.
Oh.
Sorry, because my guitar's out of tune.
what's happened.
Don't worry about it.
He's a little like the sunlight as he walks into your kitchen, kind of golden like the morning as he asks you what you're fixin'. So we'll set the table pretty with the flower that he brings you, and you flutter like a robin when it's found a friend to sing to, and you think you maybe love him. For he speaks to you in riddles about little men and kings, as he holds you like a wizard, and you watch the sunlight scatter from his rings. And the wizard is your moon now, your enchanted silver jester, and he fills the dark with moonbirds, while you smile to think that yesterday you watched him from the shadows, like a thief who'd come to steal him, with a ladder on a mountain, and you thought you'd never reach him, for he seemed too high for you. And he speaks to you in riddles, saying, I am but a mere reflection of your fables and the happy ending stories that you read.
That's a happy ending song.
Is there a big future in happiness? You think this is
Well, I don't know. I've been told by a couple of people I'm not what's currently happening, baby, but I think that they'll come around. I had a long talk with a fellow named Paul Allen, who is one of the people who did The Endless Summer.
Oh, yeah.
And they told him the same thing, that his movie wasn't currently what was happening, baby, because it was too happy and it didn't have any drama or anything, or sex in it or plot and all these things.
Just happens to be a perfectly beautiful
But
picture.
it was a lovely picture, so he convinced me that there was hope for happy things.
Listen, I'm told that you sort of helped pass away the time by doing a little drawing. You weren't you an art student?
Yes, I was,
Yeah.
before I started singing. And I met a club owner in Philadelphia who was also a commercial artist, and we used to play a game that's kind of fun and that I'd like to teach the people, if they'd like to sit down. You don't have to be artistically inclined at all.
Yeah, get this cap up.
But there are rules to it, and it can be played by 2 or 3 or 4 people, depending on, if you can get big enough paper. And what happens is the first person leads off, and they do a shape, a total shape. And if you have time, you can put in all the detail that you want, lace and filigree, and you can really complicate it.
What's a total shape?
Well,
Like a whole leg or
a whole leg, a whole bird, legs and everything.
Oh, I see.
Like you don't add a beak at a time, that's what I mean.
I see.
Although you can later on. As the game progresses, you can add anything you want.
Is this a game with points and winners and everything?
Oh, no, it's just a game
Oh.
to pass time. It's fun. Now, this is a rather funny lady. And, she's going to have a big, thick nose because this is a big, thick pen. And a big mouth.
That's the brakes, lady. Big pen,
Sorry,
big
old
mouth. Now, what are you going to do when you got this total shape here?
Okay, now I have a total shape.
Right.
Now, to show you what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the second move, which is really not what I should do.
All right.
And in order to make the second move, I'm going to have to turn it around.
Oh.
Now, you understand positive and negative area. Positive area is the enclosed area. This is a positive shape. All of this is negative area.
Mhm.
So now I find within the negative area make a positive shape. Now, here is something starting. Now, let's see.
You have to add another positive shape to this.
In the negative
Right.
area.
Here's
In the
one. I
negative
like
area.
this one better.
All right.
I'm going to make this into a bird.
A bird.
Mm-hmm.
When is the game over? When all the negative shape
when you
is gone?
feel that you've completed it and you've made a painting.
Oh.
This is a bird here, see? And he's going to have a big eye.
Yeah, can we just
Oops.
tilt this a little bit so
All right.
everybody can see? There we are.
He's going to have a wing with scallops. And maybe I'll give him funny feet.
I think you got to be kind of artistic to do this.
No, you don't.
You know who's going to have the next move? Adrian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's give him some speckles on his belly. There. Line in his beak. There. Maybe a bit of pattern.
That's clever. There's a whole bird.
There's a
Big.
bird in the hair, right?
There he is.
Okay, now you have this shape to work with, and you have this shape,
Mm-hmm.
and you have that one. You can do all sorts of things. It's your turn.
There you go.
No. Nice of you to offer.
Instant folk singing, time passing.
Yes. Well, now, if I have this kind of area, I think...
You've got a man's hat in there.
Yes, I thought that I would have a man's hat. Actually.
The hat is going to be made, yeah.
With a face under it is all I can
Right.
think.
Does this take the place of sort of being with your husband when the two of you have separate careers and he's in one place and you're in another as the business
And
is
it's got a
like?
Van Dyke
Well,
heel.
I've lived in Toronto, so I have a lot of friends here, but in Philadelphia,
He's got a squidgy hat. And he's got an
Oh,
earring
yeah.
because he's a pirate.
Oh, great.
See, he has no eyes at the moment. There he has no eyes. Doesn't he look dashing? He's upside
Very.
down, of course.
How lucky for the art world that we've run out of time for this. And you'll never know what I was going to do. I'd like to
Aren't you
just
going to try
ask.
something?
Well, no, I may after the program, but I think it's more better that we hear you sing. Can you see what Miss Clarkson
It
has
would
done
be much
here?
more better to hear Joni sing.
I think so. And I think I know what this song is about. So if you want to get yourself tuned up and
Okay.
ready and in front of our lavish set, because just helps to embellish this magnificent voice and concept. This is a song that was written about a city, and you'll be surprised at the city and the part of the city, because it's a pure, joyous, happy thing where you're supposed to imagine the nicest thing that's ever happened to you in a city. Not necessarily at night, but in any city. And that's the sort of lovely poetry and fantasy of this song. Joni Mitchell, Night in the City.
Light up, light up, light up your lazy blue eyes. Dreams up, nights up, taking the town by surprise. Nighttime, nighttime, we left an hour ago. City light time, must you get ready so slow? There are places to come from and places to go. Night in the city looks pretty to me. Night in the city looks fine. Music comes spilling out into the street. Colors go flashing in time. Take off, take off, take off your stay-at-home shoes. Break off, shake off, chase off those stay-at-home blues. Stare away, down to the crowds in the street. They go their way, looking for faces to greet, but we run on laughing with no one to meet. Night in the city looks and blue eyes. Moons up, nights up, taking the town by surprise. Nighttime, they left an hour ago. City light time, must you get ready so slow? There are places to come from and places to go. Night in the city looks pretty to me. Night in the city looks fine. Music comes spilling out into the street. Colors go waltzing in time.
Well, for my money, there's money and happiness. That's
Well,
where
there
I'll
isn't
put
only
mine.
money, there's a lot of enjoyment in it for everybody who's listening. I think a wonderful thing to open the week with, Joni Mitchell.
Remember the name from Saskatchewan, now not really lost to us in the States. Part of our centennial project to bring her to you in this year. Wait for her records and watch for her on other shows. You'll be seeing her. Joni Mitchell. Thanks for the visit, Joni.
When Canada first became a nation, its citizens worked long, hard hours to build their country. As time progressed, machinery progressed, and Canadians progressed rapidly. They farmed and fished. They cut lumber and built offices and schools, towers, and ships, trucks, and armies. It is 1967, and Canada has completed 100 years of ambition. And to celebrate, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation presents special centennial programs throughout this anniversary year. Watch CBC television and wish Canada a happy birthday.